Have you ever wondered what would happen if a spark ignited in the South China Sea? What if that spark turned into a storm, dragging nations into a conflict no one wants, but everyone is preparing for? This isn't just a distant geopolitical issue. This is a flashpoint sitting at the heart of one of the world's busiest trade routes, where military vessels and fishing boats often cross paths, sometimes dangerously close. And the question that haunts diplomats and generals alike is, could the South China Sea conflict turn violent? The South China Sea is a powder keg. Over $3 trillion worth of global trade passes through these waters every year. But it's not just about economics. It's about sovereignty, power, and national pride. China claims nearly the entire sea under its so-called Nine-Dash Line, a claim rejected by an international tribunal in 2016. Yet, China has built artificial islands, installed military facilities, and repeatedly clashed with other countries, including the Philippines, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Indonesia. These nations also have their own overlapping claims, and none are backing down easily. What's more alarming is the military buildup. The U.S. Navy regularly conducts freedom of navigation operations to challenge China's expansive claims. Chinese warships shadow them, fighter jets are scrambled. Naval exercises are frequent and growing in size and complexity. Every one of these maneuvers is a potential tripwire. A single miscommunication or miscalculation could escalate into something far more serious. In 2023, a Chinese Coast Guard vessel used a water cannon against a Philippine supply ship near Second Thomas Shoal. In another incident, Chinese ships reportedly used laser devices to harass Filipino sailors. These aren't just provocations. They're signs of how quickly things can spiral. Now imagine one of those incidents involving live ammunition, a fatal mistake, a sunk ship. Suddenly, diplomacy gets pushed aside, and the pressure to respond with force becomes overwhelming. And it's not just China and Southeast Asian countries at play. The U.S. has defense treaties with the Philippines and close military ties with Japan and Australia. Any direct attack could trigger a broader regional and possibly global response. This is what makes the South China Sea so dangerous. It's not just about contested reefs and rocks. It's about great power rivalry playing out in a confined, high-stakes environment. But despite the tension, there's still a window for peace. Diplomatic dialogues continue. ASEAN and China have been working, slowly, on a code of conduct to manage disputes. International pressure, regional cooperation, and careful diplomacy have so far kept the worst-case scenario at bay. But the longer these disputes remain unresolved, the higher the risks become. So, could the South China Sea conflict turn violent? The answer is yes. Not because anyone wants it, but because the situation is fragile, crowded, and full of military hardware. The wrong move, the wrong moment, and peace could shatter overnight. If you found this breakdown insightful, make sure to hit that subscribe button. This way, you won't miss future deep dives into the world's most critical flashpoints. And if you've got thoughts or questions, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Stay informed, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.